high today. Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
It's Friday, bitches! It's Friday, bitches! It's Friday! What? It's Friday! What? Yeah, come on! It's Friday, bitches! It's Friday, bitches! It's Friday! What? It's Friday! What? Yeah!
What's going on, my YouTube friends? I hope everybody had a great week. I got a great weekend coming up. I'm going to tell you that right now because it's nice, man. It's so sunny outside, and the weather's not really the warmest, but it's warmer, and I'm digging it. So tomorrow I'm going to probably take the dogs out for a run and see if we can get some bunnies. Oh, yeah, buddy, I can't wait. I'm just so happy it's the weekend. But anyhow, I got this story. When I first started hunting, which I started hunting late in life. A friend of mine had drugged me out in the woods and said, "Hey, let's go deer hunting." So I said, "Okay, cool." And I always had guns and stuff like that, but I never hunted. So he takes me out in Jackson. All right, Jackson is a really, really popular place to go hunting. You know what I'm saying? Everybody hunts in Jackson. But I really didn't know because, like I said, I was just starting out. And I was about 20 or 21 years old, give or take, somewhere around there. And put this noisy thing out of the way so I quit playing with it. So anyhow, he takes me hunting. And I'm all dressed up in my orange and get up and everything else, and I walk out in the woods and, got me a 5-gallon bucket to sit on. And, so I carry my gun, myself, my 5-gallon bucket, some munchies and stuff to munch on, while I'm hunting and everything. And, so I'm all set up. And I get out there, because we had already walked out there and knew where we was going to hunt at. So, so this was like opening morning, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to be the first one out there. And, and I'm all giddy and ready to go hunting and this and that, and, yeah, I'm just digging it, So anyhow, we get out there and I sit up on this ridge. And, I sit down, set my bucket down, I get all nice and comfy, and I'm sitting and I'm sitting and I'm waiting, finally daylight starts to come. And the sun's starting to come up, and it's getting brighter out, and it's getting brighter, and I'm hearing things, and I'm hearing this and I'm hearing that, and when it was really dark, I could hear movement and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, man, this is deer. Yeah, deer. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. I can't wait. Yeah, this is going to be so much fun. I'm getting all anxious and having just, I'm ready to hunt and shoot me a deer. And, oh, yeah, and sun comes up, and all I see is orange. Like I was sitting in a pumpkin field. You know what I mean? It was just horrible. There was so many hunters in this one spot. If somebody would have fired, one of us would have got shot. I'm telling you, man, it was that bad. And you would think people go in there and have flashlights. You didn't see nothing. They just walked in there blind and sat down. And I must have got in there way before them because I walked in there with a flashlight. You'd think that they would have seen me. They said, "Hey, get out of here. I'm hunting here." But I'm telling you, man, I'm like, forget this. I grab my bucket and everything and all my goodies and throw it back in the bucket and I'm off. I go get in the truck. And then 5 minutes later, here comes my buddy. He comes in there and says, "I ain't never seen so many hunters in one spot in my life." And I'm like, "John, I don't know. This is the first time I've ever been hunting." And he's like, "Well, okay, what are we going to do?" I says, "Well, you know what? I got the week off of work." And I was working just for the junkyard at the time, but I took the week off. And my dad had given me the week off. And I says, "Let's go up in the UP. There's probably no hunters up there, So we all get in the truck, and I go back and call my uncle. My uncle is up in the UP, and I call him. And I said, "Jerry, would it be okay if we came in and hunt with you?" He goes, "Why, sure, come on up." He goes, "I got a couple blinds you guys can get into." He goes, "Yeah." I says, "You do realize I've never hunted before, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, why, certainly, come on up, man, absolutely, man, we'll have a good time." And, you know, just come on up. I said, okay. So we get up there, and my uncle had already went out to camp, and they called it the Advent. That was the name of the place where they were hunting at. And my aunt says, well, come on out there, and I'll just spend the night, because Jerry's got a bowl tomorrow, so I'll just spend the night out there, and I'll just ride out there with you guys and show them where you're at. I'm like, okay, cool. So we take off, and it's probably about 30, 40 minutes from my uncle's house. And we get out there, and it was really cool because it was the first time I had ever seen northern lights. I mean, it was awesome. They were just kind of like waving through the sky, man. It was just cool. And I'm like, man, what is that? She goes, those are northern lights. And that's the first time I ever seen them, you know, or recognized or realized that, you know, what was going on up there. So we get back there, and we're probably 3 miles back into the woods, you know. So we drive all the way back there, and they got this really cool trailer set up, you know, and got a bonfire going. And we get up in there, you know, and have a couple beers and stuff, you know, the things you guys do at hunting camp. And we go in there and sit down, and, you know, they had a little bit of chili, so we had some chili and some beer, you know, and shot the shit, you know, and talked about hunting, and he was explaining to me where he's going to take me and what's going on, you know, and, you know, just get in there and sit tight, and, you know, there'll be a deer that comes through there, you know, and he says, where I'm going to put you at, he goes, there's a deer taken out of there every year. So I'm saying, man, this is great, you know. So we get up the next morning, my uncle takes me out there where I'm supposed to go, and we got 4-wheelers in that, so we ride out there, and it's little 2-lane tracks out there, and so I parked my 4-wheeler, and I walked, and it's probably about, I don't know, 100 yards or so back to where this blind's at. And it's just a blind that was made out of, you know, dead trees and stuff that's fallen over in the past, and they cut them and notched them, and they made a nice blind out of it. It's actually pretty cool, you know. And so I get in there and I sit, man, and I mean, I hear this crunching going on. Crunch, crunch, crunch. All this racket, you know, and I've been sitting there for quite a while, and it's still a little dark out, you know. And there's snow on the ground, so it's dark, but it's light. You know what I mean? You kind of light out because of the moon and everything, but, you know, and that's all you could hear is crunch, 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 crunch. And I'm like, wow, man, there's something big out there, you know. And I'm sitting there, and I keep hearing this crunch, crunch, and I'm out there with a gun, you know. And I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I started thinking, man, what if this is a bear? Man, no deer can make that kind of noise. It's got to be a bear. And so I'm sitting there, and the more I think, the more I started thinking about, what am I going to do if a bear comes up? I can't shoot it. I don't have a license for a bear. You know, what if this thing attacks me, or something's going on here, you know? Man, I'm really starting to think. I'm starting to scare myself. So I get up, get out of the blind, and I leave. And I mean, I hightail it back to the 4-wheeler. Get on that 4-wheeler, man, and I start taking off. And the closer I get to where the campers are at, the lighter it's getting and stuff like that. And I'm just heading on back there, man. I'm not looking back. I'm just getting on this 4-wheeler, and I'm heading back to the camp. So I get in there, you know, and and I'm sitting there, and I sit back at camp, and my uncle pulls up. You know, this is right around noon. So I've been sitting there for a few hours, you know. And he comes in, he goes, why in the world did you come back so early? And I go, Jerry, let me tell you, I think there's a bear back there, and I didn't know what to do, so I just hightailed it out of there. And he looked at me, he goes, why, you dumbass? It was probably the biggest deer you've ever seen in your life. And another thing is, the bears are hibernating, you dumbass. I never felt so stupid in my life. But hey, lesson learned, right? Guys, I hope you enjoyed the story, and I will talk to you soon. Oh yeah, and we got a lot of people on this giveaway. So don't forget, February 28th. Ooh, yeah, buddy.